Now, chances are, if you are watching this video, you are aware of the recent drama that went down between the Dead by Daylight YouTuber Kaiser Da Bard and the commentary channel HorrorTomie. And you probably are 100% convinced that HorrorTomie is completely in the wrong because he maliciously doxed Kaiser by revealing his personal information to his entire audience. Therefore, HorrorTomie deserves to lose his platform and get bullied off the internet. Now, I understand why people have reached this overwhelming consensus, because from the outside looking in, it makes complete sense to arrive at this conclusion. However, in this video, I will bring new evidence to light that, in my opinion, proves Kaiser Da Bard faked his own doxing, and I am hoping that you guys will hear me out on this. But before we get into this, I have to make it very clear that this video is 100% just my opinion. I will show evidence to back up every statement I say, but at the end of the day, it's up to you, the viewer, to decide what you make of it. In no way, shape or form will I ever definitively claim that Kaiser did anything, and I say this because there is a very real chance that Kaiser will try and go after me legally and try to silence me for speaking my mind, as he allegedly called law enforcement on HorrorTomie for tweeting about him. So I am hoping that he won't, but it is a very real possibility, which is why I sadly had to mention this. Now, in case you have no idea what I'm talking about, let me introduce you to Kaiser the Gamer, or Kaiser Da Bard. Now, Kaiser is a former incel, Uber driver and janitor that has been uploading content to YouTube for over 6 years. He tried a bunch of different content directions such as Apex Legends videos, rant videos, Overwatch or Minecraft, as well as producing comedy videos on the side, since he claims that it was his lifelong dream to become a comedian, which is why he studied comedy for years on end. And while I don't think his comedy videos on his 400 sub comedy channel are all that funny, it's up to you to decide whether you enjoy them or not.
You go out to party for your 21st birthday and then you wake up like 3 years later trying to put the pieces together like you're a drunk Sherlock Holmes. You just wake up and you're like, oh. All right, it appears I work at Taco Bell. If those textbooks on the table are to be believed, I am going to college for biology. And either I'm gay now or that guy sleeping on my couch is my roommate. So I don't know yet.
Personally, I think the funniest thing Kaiser ever did was upload a video of him bragging about how well his relationship is going and giving out advice how to become more friendly with your in-laws, only to follow it up with a breakup video, which is unintentionally hilarious. But at the end of the day, it's besides the point, since we'll be focusing on his main channel, Kaiser Da Gamer, today. Now, on this channel, he ended up specializing on Dead by Daylight commentary videos and stream highlights, which he did have some success with, since he was definitely an entertaining streamer to watch. He was always like an emotional mess, so casual viewers had no idea whether or not he would lose his shit completely while playing the game normally.
2 fucking flashlights? Oh my god! Why? Why do y'all constantly bring 50 fucking flashlights? You absolute fucking losers! Holy fucking shit! God! Oh, I hate squads like this! I fucking hate them! You guys are the worst pieces of fucking dog shit players on the fucking planet! Y'all make this game fucking miserable! Stop blinding me! It's unnecessary!
Or whether he would start laughing like an absolute maniac while also just playing the game regularly like any other person.
Go for it!
So there was definitely some entertainment value within Kaiser's content, which is why he amassed over 3.8k subs with this style of videos. Now, in January of 2024, he then made the risky decision to quit his job as a waiter to try and make YouTube videos full time, despite barely making any money on YouTube. But he decided to move in with his mother, this guy is over 30 by the way, to save up on rent so that he wouldn't have to work anymore, and therefore he could outperform every other YouTuber in his niche and make his lifelong dream to become a content creator a reality, which is why Kaiser has almost doubled in size since January of 2024. I mean subscribers and not physical size, by the way. So to summarize, Kaiser is a morbidly obese, emotionally unstable man in his 30s who has been on a weight loss journey for over 15 years, that lives with his mother, who he constantly complains about on Twitter, by the way, despite her letting him live with her for free, even though he again is in his 30s, and he only really got anywhere on YouTube since him living with his mom and not having to work gives him the ability to outperform literally everyone else in the content sphere, because he has no other responsibilities other than making YouTube videos. He can focus on them all day. So it's no secret that I do not respect this guy. I don't respect him as a man. I don't even see him as a man, and I definitely don't respect him as a YouTuber. But I am not here to bully Kaiser. I actually want him to get better, but I will circle back to that at the end of the video. The only thing I really want is for him not to be able to just get away with what, in my opinion, is blatant lying. So enter player 2. HorrorTomie is, or should I say was, since Kaiser's fans bullied him off the platform, a small YouTuber who gained a lot of traction by also making Dead by Daylight commentary videos, specifically on drama within the community. He had only been making consistent YouTube videos for less than a year, but he was still able to get 900 subs during this time. A few months ago, Tomie decided to make a Google document on Kaiser. Now, the allegations on this document amounted to basically nothing at all. These allegations, if you can even call them that, boiled down to Kaiser bans people from his Discord unfairly, and Kaiser acts horny on Twitter, which, even if both of these things were true, I still wouldn't care about them. The fact that Kaiser is basically hipster 2.0 on Twitter is so incredibly irrelevant to me that I'm not even gonna bother going into detail about it. So for time's sake, I'm just gonna say Kaiser did nothing wrong by being horny on Twitter, or whatever Tomie's original point was. However, Tomie releasing this document on Kaiser did put him on the map as someone willing to go against Kaiser and attack him publicly, which is why in August, someone claiming to be a person Kaiser knows in his personal life messaged Tomie on Twitter with a lot of personal information about Kaiser, and with the allegation that Kaiser actually didn't quit his job, but instead he was fired for sexually harassing co-workers. Now, Tomie got sent this allegation, and he ended up making one mistake that got his entire channel nuked by Kaiser fans, and it wasn't just posting the allegations and running with them, but instead it actually was him simply announcing that he had received allegations. Now, in general, announcing that you have obtained sensitive information about another creator and are now looking into it isn't necessarily a bad thing, even though I personally would never do it, because it gives whoever I'm looking into the possibility of getting rid of any evidence they can. But still, it's not necessarily something negative. However, the problem here was the way Tomie phrased it.
And I am currently trying to find any fucking American who is willing to record themselves calling the restaurant and actually finding out if this is the case.
Now, this is a terrible way to put this. This sounds like Tomie was just willing to hand out Kaiser's full personal information to anyone willing to call his old place of work in order to verify these sexual harassment claims. Now, this would be hugely irresponsible, and I would definitely define this as doxing, because even though Tomie probably just wanted to verify his claims, since he himself couldn't do it without receiving huge phone bills because he lives in the UK and the workplace is in the US, he definitely could have put Kaiser's life in massive danger by giving out his personal info to someone with secret malicious intent. So had Tomie actually gone through with that, I would 100% be on Kaiser's side, even though Tomie even stated multiple times in the video that you should not share private information of another creator, and he discouraged his fans from doxing Kaiser multiple times. But still, you can't just go and send doxes around. However, the thing is, Tomie never actually sent any revealing information to anyone except me. See, my props video last month put me onto the radar of a lot of commentary channels, and some of them ended up reaching out to me with video ideas, one of these people being Tomie. And he contacted me with the original accusations of Kaiser being weird on Twitter, and I essentially told him what I told you guys earlier, that this is a terminally online nothing burger I don't really care about, especially because Kaiser markets himself as 18+, so he can pretty much do whatever he wants on his Twitter in my opinion. But when Tomie reached out, I did end up looking at his channel and I liked his content, so I stayed in contact with him, and through pure chance I was one of the first people to see the video where he announced his plan to investigate Kaiser. And my immediate reaction was, holy shit, Tomie doesn't know what he's doing. He's about to give another creator's personal information to potentially dangerous people. Therefore, I immediately reached out to Tomie, claiming I would be down to do it so that Kaiser's personal information wouldn't fall into the hands of the wrong people. So if anyone was wondering who received the quote-unquote dox, it was me. Now, this dox wasn't really a dox, it was just Kaiser's real name, which anyone can find by going onto his Instagram, which he links under every new video. He even linked it in all the videos where he talks about quote-unquote being doxed, and the phone number of the restaurant manager who used to work with Kaiser. So the only way to actually properly dox Kaiser with this information would be if I used the number provided to ask the manager for it. And in that case, the responsibility for the doxing would be split between Tomie, the person calling, and the manager. But still, Tomie did something extremely irresponsible, and had I not intervened, Kaiser's personal information, or more specifically the phone number of Kaiser's old manager, could have fallen into the wrong hands. So in response, Kaiser made a video about Tomie, which in retrospect I am somewhat okay with. I mean, it was filled with a lot of unnecessary personal attacks against Tomie, and he did make some idiotic points, like saying Tomie should have just come directly to him when he received the allegations. Like, how do you imagine that interaction going? Oh, I received word that you're a predator. Can you confirm or deny? Like, obviously, whether being guilty or not, anyone would deny. But overall, Kaiser's complaints about Tomie were pretty fair, since Tomie did phrase it in a way that would lead onlookers to believe that he was willing to hand out all types of sensitive information to literally anyone. So I believe Kaiser was well within his rights here, and Tomie responded to Kaiser basically saying he was not gonna for sure research the story since Kaiser was acting shady as fuck, and he also claimed that multiple people were willing to phone the place for him, but I was the only one that actually ended up receiving the phone number, which I have deleted now, by the way. And up to this point, I would have honestly been on Kaiser's side. But then he decided to create what is, in my opinion, a complete lie that changed the entire trajectory of this drama in Kaiser's favor and ultimately led to Tomie being bullied off the internet. And I am now gonna expose this lie. So as a response to Kaiser framing him as a doxer, HorrorTomie revealed that all the information he had received was all publicly accessible over on Kaiser's Facebook. Now, Kaiser then went on to frame HorrorTomie as a doxer for sharing his Facebook. Kaiser made the argument that this Facebook account was private and only for close personal friends of his, and HorrorTomie had no right to publicly leak it to his audience on Twitter. And everyone unanimously believed him and bullied Tomie off the internet, which shocks me, because 5 seconds of research proves that Kaiser, in my opinion, completely lied about his Facebook. Would you be shocked to learn that Kaiser actually promoted his Facebook on over 80 different videos on his channel? Not only did he mention it a lot in older videos, but he also had it linked on over 80 different uploads, some of them with thousands of views. He even made a video talking about a story with his in-laws on Facebook, where he then went on to, you guessed it, promote his Facebook. He linked his Facebook everywhere on his channel, and if maybe he then changed his mind and removed all the links, then you can argue that the account became private, but all of these links are still up to this very day. I literally found Kaiser's Facebook in under 5 seconds by just going onto his channel and typing in Facebook, and over 80 results came up. Kaiser's Facebook was never private.
As always, if you want to catch me live, everything's in the description, the Discord, the Twitter, the Instagram, the TikTok, the fucking Facebook.
This was always his public Facebook account, which is why he uses the same profile picture as on so many other public social media accounts of his, and this, in my opinion, makes him a complete liar. Now, I want you to remember this. Kaiser promoted his Facebook in over 80 videos, which altogether received over 13,000 views, and this is his reaction to Tomie posting a screenshot of his public Facebook to his 100 follower Twitter account.
Tomie is insane. Have I ever went out and shared my public Facebook profile? The answer is no. Have I ever went out and shared my public Facebook profile? The answer is yeah, baby. Tomie would go on to post my personal Facebook page to his Twitter for everyone to see, fully doxing me and putting me, my mother, and my animals in serious danger. We have the tweet where you posted my private Facebook profile for the world to see and for people to just go out and find.
As always, if you want to catch me live, everything's in the description, the Discord, the Twitter, the Instagram, the TikTok, the fucking Facebook. Facebook.
Kaiser is the most pathetic content creator on YouTube. He's saying he is scared for his life because Tomie posted a screenshot of a Facebook profile that Kaiser himself has previously promoted over 80 times to his audience. This is such a blatant and obvious lie, and I am absolutely appalled that not a single person picked up on this. All anyone has to do is go to Kaiser's channel and type in Facebook in the search bar, and then you have what I believe to be conclusive evidence that Kaiser publicly promoted his Facebook to over 13,000 people, because all of the videos where it's linked, they all together have 13,000 views. So Kaiser is obviously lying when he says stuff like this.
Everybody is afraid for their life. No private information was released. Yes, it was. It literally was when you posted my fucking Facebook profile.
Now, Kaiser made a 2-hour response video where all of his relevant points about Tomie, in my opinion, hinge on the fact that he publicly doxed him, which Tomie definitely did not do. HorrorTomie has never publicly doxed Kaiser. In my opinion, this is one of the biggest lies ever used to escape a controversy, and it is absolutely sickening to me that no one is willing to call Kaiser out on this. So now that I have explained to you why I believe the Facebook doxing claims were absolutely false, I am now going to tear apart Kaiser's 2-hour 15-minute long exposed video on HorrorTomie. So first of all, 2/3 of the video isn't even about Tomie. Now, I find it funny that Kaiser claims to be scared for his life due to Tomie, but he prefers to shift the focus of his exposed video to random people. Now, the Discord thing, I already said that I don't care about it. It boils down to Kaiser banning someone, and I don't care if it was unfair or stupid, because it was his server. He can do whatever he wants. So already, the first 15 minutes of this video are completely pointless. Anyway, the only real point I find interesting from the first 15 minutes talking about the Discord drama is that he claims he never promoted his Patreon, which is another lie.
It was never advertised. It was never advertised. It was never advertised, and it was never put out there. If you want to see more stuff like this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, head down to the description to pick up some merch if you want to do that, or subscribe to my Patreon, which I am going to occasionally use from time to time if you don't want to be bothered with the Twitch stuff. It was never advertised.
But I'm not gonna dive too deep into it because it's just besides the point. He then goes on to talk about Tomie for around 4 minutes, where he essentially wants people to think that he has evidence to back up the claim that Tomie caused harm to Kaiser by sending Kaiser's personal information to people.
He had multiple people he was going to hand my information to, and he was more determined than ever to crack this story open, essentially painting my genuine concern and anxiety for my personal information being handed to people who can use it to harm me, and as of making this video have already used it to harm me by posting publicly the full names of people like my 70-year-old granny.
Now, not only did Tomie never send any information to anyone besides me, and I have not shared it with anyone, and even besides that, the information was just his public name and one phone number. But also the account he shows here, which he didn't even blur the name of, by the way, even though he's saying they're a horrible person and doxing him and that he's scared for his life, but he didn't blur the name out. But anyway, that account did actually tweet out Kaiser's information, but they were the one that contacted Tomie with it in the first place. So how could it be Tomie that caused this to happen when this account reached out to Tomie with the personal information of Kaiser? Obviously, this account acted on their own, and blaming Tomie for it makes literally no sense. Kaiser then goes on to spend over 40 minutes justifying him making fun of a random person's gameplay, which again, what does that have to do with anything? I thought we are here because there are serious doxing allegations at hand. Now, I wish I was making this up, but he then spends almost an hour talking about videos from a channel with 12 subs and less than 50 views, trying to disprove them. And these videos, if you watch them, they were obviously made by a severely mentally ill person, yet Kaiser wastes almost an hour trying to debunk them, even though no one took them seriously in the first place. Now, after 1 hour and 50 minutes, Kaiser finally gets around to talking about the situation that actually matters, the alleged doxing by HorrorTomie. He starts it off by claiming that Tomie only holds him to a ridiculously high standard and has never made a Google document on anyone else.
I should also point out, like I did with Jason, that Tomie has made no attempt to create a doc around any other adult content creator. He has held no one else to the scrutiny he has me. As we have already shown, it is because he has a predisposition to not liking me.
Which is hilarious because Tomie is literally known for making pointless documents about people. He literally made a document about a Dead by Daylight predator called Flickmaster a week before this all went down. So again, obviously untrue statements by Kaiser.
Tomie is a deranged and disturbed individual, lashing out at everyone who does not shower him with praise, falsifying narratives and making passive-aggressive videos that do not tell the real story. He cares not for evidence or even the truth, only to hurt as many people as he can.
This is again very disingenuous, because if Tomie really didn't care about evidence, he would have just dropped a video framing you as a sexual harasser instead of trying to find someone to phone the place you worked at in order to verify the claim first. Now, Kaiser then confirms that he's going to go after Tomie legally.
I have given the fucking detectives your information, and by the way, just because you're claiming that you're going to delete everything and quit, it doesn't mean I won't stop pursuing legal action.
And this would be a massive waste of everyone's time, since Kaiser would obviously lose in a court of law, since Tomie never made any false claims about him, and he never doxed Kaiser either, as I have proven in this video. So I really hope Kaiser doesn't go through with this, especially since Kaiser and Tomie are both broke people that live with a parent, so why would any one of them be willing to waste money like this? Now he then again comes up with another argument to confirm that Tomie doxed him.
Just wants to make other people suffer, as is proven by his actions. Tomie endorses people, not only leaking my private information, but the private information of the people in my lives, such as my mother, my 70-year-old granny, people who I haven't spoken to in years, and more.
Now this is absolutely disgusting, because in my opinion he's trying to paint Tomie as a doxer here, but the doxing screenshots he shows are the ones of the random Twitter account that we've talked about earlier, and this random Twitter account has been criticized by Tomie, so saying that he not only supports this doxing, but also that he's responsible for it makes literally zero sense. Kaiser is blatantly misrepresenting Tomie's actions, and he then goes on to say this.
He wants me to be hurt. He wants the people in my life to be hurt. He's going to cause physical harm in any way he can, and he does not care about the consequences.
And honestly, if anyone here has legal grounds to sue the other person, it would have to be Tomie, because what evidence does Kaiser have to back up these statements? None. It is literally just slander and people are eating it up, which makes me kind of upset. Kaiser created this whole video focusing on irrelevant Discord and Twitter drama and other smaller mentally ill people whose arguments he could easily disprove to distract from the fact that he had no actual proof that Tomie doxed him and completely lied about his Facebook. It is literally all just a massive lie, and it really pisses me off that literally everyone involved in this just willingly believed Kaiser without verifying anything. People have doxed HorrorTomie and bullied him off the platform over completely false allegations, and if you were one of the people attacking Tomie, you owe him an apology, because he never doxed anyone, and also unlike Kaiser, he never has directly lied about anything in this situation either. So just cause Tomie has been exposed in leaked screenshots for having a bad temper and cutting his so-called friends off randomly, that doesn't mean that you can dox him and ruin his entire YouTube career because of it. So now I'm going to tell you what really happened here. HorrorTomie received a claim about Kaiser sexually harassing his coworkers. He asked for help, trying to find out whether or not it's true. The way he asked for help was clearly extremely irresponsible and could have gotten Kaiser hurt. At this point in time, Kaiser was completely within his right to call out HorrorTomie. Kaiser then took it a step too far by framing Tomie as a doxer for leaking his personal Facebook, which was never personal to begin with. He publicly promoted it over 80 times in videos that gained over 13,000 views total. But Kaiser used this false doxing allegation in order to, in my opinion, rile up a hate mob against Tomie, which ultimately worked very well because the hate mob publicly doxed Tomie and bullied him off the platform, leaving all of his social media and half a year of hard work deleted and lost forever. At this point, the only question that remains is, why did Kaiser actually go through with falsely painting Tomie as a doxer? Well, there are two ways of thinking here. Either Kaiser just really hated Tomie, which would be understandable because Tomie obviously did not like Kaiser either, and Kaiser saw an opportunity to get rid of a content creator who was openly criticizing him. Or Kaiser did this as a way to stop Tomie from actually calling his former workplace and possibly finding out that he did in fact sexually harass his coworkers. Now, I'm not gonna state which of these theories I personally believe in because I don't want to get like legally slapped, but I will say that I don't think there's any other explanation that makes sense. Kaiser either just hated Tomie or he wanted to cover up his crimes. There would simply be no other reason for Kaiser to do something as malicious as faking his own doxing. I know a lot of people are now gonna say, well, Materwelon, you received the phone number of the place. Couldn't you just find out yourself? And I thought about this for quite some time, but I figured I would give Kaiser the chance to clear his name first. Because I personally have never received the allegations, so it wouldn't be really my place to try and discover the truth. I mean, if someone sends me credible evidence after this video, I might, but as things stand, I really don't think I should. So Kaiser, if you're watching this, I'm giving you the opportunity to clear your name by just calling the place yourself and confirming with the manager, who you already know, so it wouldn't be an invasion of privacy, that you did in fact never sexually harass anyone. Then the allegations would be confirmed as false, and we could all go home. And this is what Kaiser should have done from the get-go, by the way. So yeah, Kaiser, the ball is in your court. Now, in conclusion, I think HorrorTomie is obviously not a smart or trustworthy guy, because leaked screenshots did show him losing his temper a lot because he lost a game of Dead by Daylight and throwing people off his podcast and cutting them out of his friend group seemingly at random. But at the end of the day, Tomie is not a failed comedian in his 30s, but like just a kid. He has so much room to improve as a person, and I think it's a shame that people didn't give him a chance and just bullied him off the platform and doxed his entire family when he at most acted irresponsibly. So yeah, even though Tomie might not be a great person per se, I still firmly believe everyone that bullied him off the platform owes him an apology. As for Kaiser, I know for a fact that he's gonna throw a bunch of buzzwords at me like he did with Tomie. He's not gonna call me a doxer, but I think he'll instead call me like fatphobic, transphobic. He might use my military background as a way to call me an alt-righter or something, but at the end of the day, I just don't care what he tries to paint me as. I know for a fact that I have been objective throughout this video, and I just had the goal of making sure that Kaiser wouldn't get away with his blatant lying, and I am confident that I did end up achieving this goal. But I don't want Kaiser bullied off the platform for his lies. I just want him to apologize, not to me but to HorrorTomie, and I do want Kaiser to get better, because I know that a morbidly obese person in his 30s living with his mother while pretending to be a full-time content creator cannot be happy with their life. Kaiser, if you handle the situation the right way, I might even end up rooting for you as a content creator in the future. But for that to happen, Kaiser, you need to apologize. Admit that you lied about the situation. I'm not gonna go after you, I just don't want you to get away with lying, and I honestly believe that you suffering through the consequences of your lies will help you become a better person. I am not doing this to harm you, I am just sick of people lying, and I want the truth to come out.
And remember, stay shiny.